Will we ever get sailing again? Welding out on a mooring buoy, cleaning the hull of the reef that's formed are the two major jobs stopping us from starting our sailing season. Plus, we've been hit with a blow about our boat Cordelia that has altered our sailing plans for 2025. But keep watching because we're really excited about it. If you're new to us, welcome aboard Cordelia, our Venus 46 Ketch. We are Steve, Annette and Gus. We sailed from the UK down to the Med, over to the Caribbean, and our motto is we will sail as far as we can for as long as we can. We've been on the mooring buoy now for nearly a year, all bar a few days, November, ready to pack up and decommission the boat to go back to the UK, and we're nearly ready to get going. We've got a couple of last minute jobs to do which are really important. We can't leave the mooring buoy before we do those jobs, but as soon as those are done and we've gone and done a shop, then we will be on our way to our first anchorage in 12 months. We're really looking forward to that.
The main things are pretty much done. The anchor chain's in, the anchor chain we haven't used, the AnchoRight marking system we haven't used, and get used to being on anchor, getting used to moving. Where we are now, it's really sheltered, but it's like being tied to a pontoon without the pontoon. We don't move here. And the anchorage that we're going to will have a bit more wind, which will be nice to get rid of the heat, learning how to restow things, just learning how to do everything again, really. This is exciting.
The first of the jobs is cleaning the hull. We have absolutely no idea what we're going to find. Obviously the most important part is the prop. We won't ever be able to leave if that's solid. 13 years ago we drilled 10,000 holes in Cordelia's hull to rid her of osmosis. Over a period of 9 months we stripped, filled, faired and applied 10 coats of West epoxy and 6 coats of copper coat. It seemed to take a lifetime to do, but as you can see here, although after not touching her for almost 12 months and it creating its own reef, it is easily scraped off. We've never considered the copper coat a great anti-foul, but the growth is definitely much easier to remove, which is a job we normally do once a month. Some of you will know that it works much better when the copper coat is abraded, which is something we do every year. We are not sponsored by Copper Coat in any way, but in our opinion it has worked excellently on Cordelia and saved us thousands over the years in haul-outs and anti-foul. It took 3 days to clean our hull of this growth and leave Cordelia with a smooth bottom once again. There's obviously something down there because he's banging the water and doing something. What's going on?
There's a fucking great barracuda.
Oh, be careful. We've got the welder coming today. He's coming to repair our davits on both sides, which are both broken, which means that we can't hang woody off the back. Steve will show you now.
So we've got to repair this damage. I'll put this bit on to try and hold it together for a bit longer, and a Jubilee clip to hold it a bit longer. But what I've been doing is taking the cables out that go to the GPS units and to the lights, and replacing it with mousing lines, but it's a complete ball ache. It's all nice to have the pipe, to have the wires inside the tube, but when you've got to do anything with them, pain in the ass. The guy who designed it needs to give up. The guy who's working on it needs to give up, just not yet. Windbreak to shield the welders.
In 2017 we were coming through the Needles, which is quite a dodgy area of the south coast of the UK. As we were coming through at about 9 knots, we came to an abrupt stop and had gone aground on a shingle bank just outside of Hurst Castle. And when we inspected the hull, there didn't seem to be any damage. It wasn't until one day when he was hanging the dinghy on the davits that he could see the shock of us going aground had actually cracked the davits on both sides. And over the years, those cracks have got worse. We shared our plans with you in the last episode of where we're going to be where we thought we were going to be at the end of the sailing season, going into hurricane season 2025. The plan was that we were going to kind of do the loop of the Caribbean and end up back in Aruba. We've started to get prices and it's looking like it might be out of our budget, so we're now currently looking at other places. So I've started looking at Guatemala and back here in Martinique. The one thing that we've got to take into consideration, obviously the main thing, is Gus. So it's weighing up flights as well as marina prices to see if we can really afford it. So didn't realise it would be quite as expensive as what it's going to be. I've got to carry on and have a look at that and see what the costs are, and yeah, may have to change that. I'll let you know later.
We had the welding done and I took the wiring out of the tube because I didn't want the wiring getting burnt, so now I'm putting the wiring back in. The GPS wiring that I thought was just like a coaxial is not. It's putting it back together after the welding's quite a lot more involved than taking it out, like everything. Putting it back together is harder. So I'm going to terminate them all off with these Wago connections and then put it all inside a junction box. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, it's nice in here. Should have had these additional plates put in. The cracks. This is all cracked up around here. So it's not necessarily the prettiest at all, but it was the best we could get where we are. So get the dinghy up in the davits to see how it goes. We'll show you that before we leave.
After our chat the other day about quite high costs of Aruba berthing that we've been quoted, I've had a look at other places that we could go to, other countries that we could go to. Aruba, Guatemala, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Martinique and Curacao.
So you've done it as like a kind of combined cost of how much to berth, how much to fly out of there.
Yeah. Just to give us an overall cost, but I've just used the months July to October, so 4 months. Doesn't matter when we go and come back, but 4 months. So this is all in pounds. Aruba 4,000, Guatemala 2,800, Grenada 5,550, Trinidad and Tobago 4,020, Martinique 4,865, Curacao 4,164.
Martinique's quite high.
Yeah, I think the more expensive ones are because they're the more popular places that people tend to fly out to. I think it's back down to either Aruba or Guatemala, and the big problem that we've got with Aruba is that if we are going to stay there after the 4 months, to stay there during the sailing season to do the refit work, Aruba won't lift us out of the water if we need to be lifted out of the water. That's if we need to be lifted out, but they won't lift us out anyway, so really we're back to Guatemala.
Well, it looks quite nice. That's somewhere we were looking at going in 2 years' time, not next year, but the price sounds good.
Yeah.
Is it dog friendly?
Yes, it is dog friendly.
We're going to have to brush up on Spanish.
Are you okay with Guatemala? Because I know you're a little bit...
It looks fantastic. It's a long way away. So from where we are now, 1,600 miles.
Looks like we're going to Guatemala then instead of Aruba.
Dos cerveza, por favor.
Very good, well done.
Thank you, Michael Cummins. Apparently we've got to do this.
Oh, yeah. Why?
That's just what I've been doing down in the town. I don't know why. Fist bumps is all about. It's where it's at.
Super excited today. It's moving day. We're moving off of the mooring buoy. So this is the first time that we've actually moved the boat for a year. 12 months. So Steve's taking the dinghy up to the bow of the boat because we are double tied to the mooring buoy because of hurricanes, and we were chained, but I don't think we're chained anymore at the moment. Right, left hand is loose. Oh my god, first time in 12 months.
So look at concentration. I haven't had a nervous poo.
Bye bye Martinique.
so nervous.
You've been like it all morning.
So it appears to be working, even though something, like a lot of these things, we get back, we leave the boat for 10 months, and then we come back and it says legacy. Legacy is the new thing for basically saying old. So you've got a legacy router, that means you've got an old router, okay? So it didn't appear to be working this morning. Anyway, I did the turn it off, turn it on. It seems to have fixed it, but I don't know how it fixed it, because it's still telling me that it's not online on the local network, even though it seems to be doing everything I want it to do. But as a backup, I've got my phone on my new little jazzy, only available from Stanstrut holder. We don't get a kickback from, but I almost feel like I own the company that we've got so much of it. Oh, 5 meters. 25. Two and a half miles. Feels like we've been at it for 3 days.
We're anchored. Yes! Welcome to our new patrons, Russ and Charlotte Ward. Great to have you on board, guys. Join us in a couple of weeks' time when we check out of Martinique and do our first sail all the way up to... Well, why don't you join us and find out? Thanks for watching, guys. See you in a couple of weeks. Ciao for now.
Sponsored by Yeti. Nobody else is sponsored by Yeti. It's all Better Health and AG1. Yeti's where it's at. Get these for free. SV Cordelia.
You don't get them for free.
You do.
Cost
We
us
get
an
them
arm
for
and
free.
a leg.
We get them for free. Use discount code. We're paying fuck all. Apparently, Annette's got a problem with my haircut. It's like a half and half. I'll do hers in a minute.
Back from the vet, Gus is all jabbed up and with a new passport as well. So he's now gone from being Italian to French. So we've changed his name to, Pierre. He's now called Pierre. Our little Giuseppe will always be Italian.